Hi, and welcome to this week's episode hosted by Gray and Mark Lawson, John's Health and Fitness, and Mark Elm of Leeds Beckett University, where we take training theory and science onto the gym floor.
Up everybody, welcome back to episode 21 of the Yorkshire Fitness Podcast. Today we are going to discuss goal setting. We're going to get straight into it. So we talk about this quite a bit, don't we, between ourselves. What projects, as you've heard, if you've listened to the last few podcasts, me and Mark did a 24-hour challenge. So we use little things like that as part of our goal setting, don't we? Events, whether it's for charity, in-house things that we do in the gym, but it can be, goal setting can be just a massive variation of exercises, kind of ways in planning. You know, like it can be used for loads of different things in all walks of life, guys. So Mark, you set a goal, didn't you, to do a double bodyweight back squat last year, which is doing a blog about, which you can follow if you've got a spare couple of years to catch up on whereabouts he is.
I'm still exactly where I was 2 years ago. It was exactly the same place it was 5 years ago and 10 years ago.
So I suppose this is why we've said that, you know what, goal setting is probably quite a good one to talk about for people, because it's probably one that people don't understand. It's like, should I be setting goals, and what goal do I set to get the best out of my training?
We talk about what we do in our own training, don't we? That's kind of, we have a bit of a nat about at the beginning of the podcast. There's what we doing this week. We're two very different kind of ways of going about training. Like I have a program that I'm the kind of anal retentive S&C coach. This is the program, this is the output, and I'm going to do this exercise for this for 6, 7 weeks, 10 weeks, and this is sets and reps, and that's kind of my mindset. You guys have a bit more fluid approach. So you might do strength training, do it every week. What goes into that is completely different and can change session to session, week to week.
You just talked about it a little bit then, didn't you? So I suppose yours is very, yours is like the end goal, like achieving some at the end of it type of goal, although you're not going that well about it a minute. But for some people that can be off-putting, can't it? Yeah. So if they set a goal that they want to achieve, if they're looking and they're not progressing towards it, luckily with your mindset and how you are, you carry on doing it. Some people are not like that; they just give up and they go altogether. Ours is probably more, we've just discussed it then, a little bit more process. We enjoy training in general. We've dabbled with all different kinds of training, and like we tried getting into calisthenics at one point, graded when we're doing all that. But we'd never want to we don't like just putting ourselves in one thing and going, we're just going to train like that from now on, because we just like that variety, and I think that lends to, that's a different kind of thing. So we just enjoy the process of training, and some people that's enough for them, innit?
I think we look at it as in, I remember saying this when we did triathlons.
Yeah,
we'd like to keep ourselves to a certain level of fitness and strength, you know, like kind of everything that within we could enter any event we wanted, like another triathlon or a bike ride or a run or something, and within a couple of months we pretty much know we could nail it, because we've got that base, you know, like a base level of fitness. I'm not saying we could nail a double bodyweight back squat, but that's pretty extreme, isn't it? But most things are kind of achievable in quite a short amount of time. And I think that is what base I like to try and stay at.
I mean, we did that a little bit with strength, didn't we? We had that farmer's walk challenge, didn't we, where we're doing that. Yeah, and we were building up to get to however we could do a farmer's walk. We initially said we'd do a 30-second farmer's walk with double body weight, but we got that pretty easy. So then went to 2.5 times, and we did that. But then we got bored of that one, and we switched off.
Turning around.
We had to turn around in our gym, you had to turn around at end and turn around that one hardest bit, sometimes you just carry on with that amount of weight on bar. But so we, like Grace says, we just like to think that we're not that far away from having a go, really? And I think, so we are more general focused, whereas like you say, you're very S&C, I want to be able to do this double backward squat, and that's everybody's got their own thing to do, haven't they?
The thing that it's what we call, I call it self-awareness. Kind of, you understanding of yourself and what's going to keep you going. So when we came out of lockdown, which is when I first started the goal, it was like I could easily come once or twice and not bother, and then I knew myself that if there was something wasn't external, some kind of goal in mind.
Yeah.
And I put some accountability to that, which is why the vlog came from. It wasn't particularly that I wanted to get a massive social media following. I don't know why anybody would want to do that.
Unless you do your own podcast.
Unless you do your podcast when it's about kind of social media following. But if I didn't do that and have that external accountability and have something to aim for, when push comes to shove and there was reasons not to train, I wouldn't go about how much I love doing it.
Yeah.
What I would typically do is like, you know what, I've got into the gym, I'll do naff, I'll go home again because I'm tired and for every other reason you can think of not to be there. Just but being aware of who I am and how I work. Like I like strength training, I could happily go and squat every single day. I don't need to change an exercise. But that was one of my kind of downsides as SSC coaches. It was hard to put myself in the place of somebody who didn't like training that way. Like, how do I write a program for somebody who doesn't like squatting? Really struggle with that. Why would you not like squatting? It's the best thing in the world. You can do it dead easy, and it's got it done in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So that was kind of understanding me, but that does mean to say that I think everybody should do that. So it's about pros and cons, isn't it? And awareness of who you are, what you want to get out of your training, how it works. So I suppose what I say to you guys is, how do you go through that process with like somebody comes in and you go, right, what's the rule book says give them a goal, or they should have a goal. That's why they're here. You've got a goal, my job is to help you get your goal. You just said before we came on air, we have a consultation, like tell me what your goals are. Like, how does it work when they don't have one?
It's one of the first things we ask, isn't it? Your goal setting is, but yeah, like I said, not everybody does. So we've just been talking about one that lasted was just been in. She's just really general, as in my goal is I want to keep training. I want to train twice a week. I just want to feel better. I want to feel that, get that feeling that I have through regular exercise and feel strong and feel fit and healthy. And that's as far as she wants to go. She doesn't even want to do body composition. It's like, I really don't. This is her goal. Her goal is to, you said earlier, keep training.
My head is fall off.
Yeah, it's really difficult because I was like saying, well, what can't we just do this? And it was like, she really doesn't think she needs one. So her motive, most people need a goal to motivate them, don't they? We need that to say, right, we're going to get, it might be a long-term goal and we're going to set a short-term goal, we're going to get that and we're going to readdress it at the end of this month. If you've got it, brilliant, we tick it off box. If you haven't hit that goal, we have a look at why and we set it for following month and stuff like that. But if you're motivated enough not to need that precise thing, right, I have lost a kilogram or I have lost a centimetre off my waist or I have improved I've doubled the strength of my deadlift. Or so if you don't need that, you don't need it. But it just shows how individual everybody is. It really is massive, isn't it? So from a listening point of view, anybody listening here, and this would be quite a good question one to get people's feedback, wouldn't it? You know, like, do you need a goal? I don't think I probably don't, because I love training. So if I was going to, I don't need, it's great to set our goals mid through the year, not mid through the year, you know, like stages through the year to give you something to focus on. But I don't need an actual goal to keep training, but do other people. But your goal isn't to keep training, is it? It's just to maybe get that little bit extra so that you've, like you've just said, probably to make you go to the gym instead of going home.
It's a bit, it comes in a package, I think. It's a bit of everything. So do I go when I don't want to go?
Yeah.
When I'm tired? Do I do something when everything else in my body's saying, sit around and eat shit? Which is what I would do. Because I listen to your body, I don't listen to Mike, because Mike's a fat, lazy bastard. So I have to tell him to shut up and get on with it. And then what you do when you get there. So, like, with all of those things, you're just tired and you're there because of the process. And that's why I'm quite data driven and going through like the velocity based training, putting units on the bar and RPEs and loads and stuff like that. It takes the perception out of it. It takes my kind of think, I can't be bothered. I'll put that number on the bar and I've got to hit that. And knowing that it's for this bigger purpose means that when I get there, I do something.
Yeah.
But does that take the enjoyment out of it? And it does to a degree. But I like the process. But like, I really fancy doing something else today. But I'm not doing that because that doesn't necessarily help me get to my goal. Like, I love weightlifting. I've barely done any weightlifting for ages because it's about getting stronger. Now, I believe that getting stronger will help my weightlifting. So it's not like I'm kind of going away from the thing I like to do, but I just put some lightweight in the bar, do some clean and jerk and snatches. But no, like, that would mean that when I go to the squat, I'm going to squat less weight, and that's not why I'm here today. So there's a little bit of kind of trade-off in that. But it gets more out of me having that goal. If I just go, I was going to go to the gym and do something, I'd be like, probably, do a lot of shoulder pressing and maybe some kind of pulls and things like that. And then half an hour later, I'm going away and going, well, I didn't do a great deal. I didn't achieve a great deal. So it's that sense of achievement that keeps me coming back and going, yeah, sometimes I've left the gym fuming and frustrated that I wanted to make progress. I wanted to be close to that goal and a bit further away. I've got a niggle, or like I say, I've had those hip problems and going, that's really frustrating. Like if I didn't have that goal, I wouldn't have had that frustration. I wouldn't have had a negative experience with the gym. If I'd have gone, right, I don't care if I'm doing the squat or not. Hips tight, I'm going to do something else. I would have had all that, but equally, I wouldn't have gone at all if I didn't have, if that hip was hurting. Yeah, the goal wouldn't have gone in the gym in the first place. So I've got on hip so I'm not going to bother resting today. So I think it comes a package, but for me, getting the goal gets me to the gym, does more with the gym, and I get more out of me from that process. But it's not the thing I think everybody should have.
I think it goes back to the individual thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody's different. And and it's what's going to help you the most with your trade. If it's got to be an actual short-term, month-by-month goal that you get to end of that month and then you reset, if that helps you with the month, if your training has to be month to month rather than ours, it's probably more like a 12-month picture that we're doing it. I would say we train probably on a general basis, like I say, so we just set ours as in whatever day an event is, but some people probably are 8-week inch loss. The 8-week inch loss programs that we run, they are really goal focused, aren't they? And they are short terms. Week 4, are we there? Pretty much halfway. And then what is your goal? They all set the goals at the beginning of it and work on. So any feedback or any questions from you lot, or like kind of after this podcast, they'd be good ones to send in. Do you need to set goals to train? If you're listening to this, do you need to set goals? And what are the best goals that you've kind of used in the past to help you stay on track with your training? Quite interesting to hear from you.
I suppose understanding the difference between them as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Understanding whether it's just an outcome or whether it's like a process and stuff. So, yeah, understanding what you are. If you question yourself in that way, it probably helps you as you are moving forward with your training, doesn't it? If you're like you say, you need to do that, we don't. Ours is just totally different. So there's no right and wrong on that, is there? It doesn't make yours right, ours wrong, or other way around. It's understanding where you are. Maybe if we want working in a gym all the time, man, we've always been that and wanted to train anyhow, haven't we? And just gone and trained. But it is a hell of a lot easier to drag your ass. If we don't have to drag ourselves down a night, do it, and go and break off other things to do it. We get it done while we're here. And it's here, so we just do it, whatever. Even if it's a shit session, I can be, you can be a little bit peed off with a shit session. You can walk away and go, I didn't do that much today, but it's like you just go with it, don't you? Following day, you hit it that little bit harder and you get more out of it. So, yeah, I think we're always always trying to push and get a bit stronger, but there's no definite goal until you're just changing it a little bit for whatever challenge we've got coming up. Like when we do Para 10, we've just talked about it. We did a big challenge. We're going to be doing Para 10. All of a sudden, we're going to have to change it and more just doing adapting and getting rucksack on his back and getting out and running.
So for those people who don't know it,
what
the power tips, I know very little about.
All right,
it.
Okay, so Para 10, we've done it. Well, I've done it twice before. We were both supposed to do it twice. You've done it once, haven't you? Because you got injured. It's up in Catterick. It's a 10-mile run, walk. I'm going to do it. 17 kilo on your back, but you've got to wear long trousers and boots, and it's hot paras and marines and stuff. Some right machines go up and do it. Absolutely blitz it. But it's an unbelievable day. Last time we did it, there were on the right term for him now, but veterans, army veterans, no legs, and still battling the way around, weren't they, on like blade type legs or false legs and crutches, and still getting around with rucksack on the back. Unbelievable to see different people going around and doing it. It's a great challenge. Tough, bad on feet. Obviously, it's hard going ground. It isn't an easy track to go around, but it's the actual course that paras have to do for part of their like to get into the paras. It's one of their fitness, one of their tests that they have to do. Obviously, they have to do 5 or 6 tests, whatever they do, but it's one of theirs, the para 10, and it's just opened up once a year at Catterick, and it's class. It really is. It's a good one, but it's hard to train for.
You do like an endurance challenge, don't you? I always go for the endurance challenges.
Yeah, but I think that's just because it's a bit more mental, that, isn't it? Don't you think? I think when we
This sounds mental, yeah.
Yeah, I know, but it's just a little bit more. It tests your head a little bit more than a lot of others. I don't know.
There's a lot more of that. Like, it's quite easy to choose an endurance challenge, though, isn't it? There's not much else out there, is there?
Unless we said, we're going to go and enter a powerlifting contest, which we're not going to do, really, are we?
No.
I mean,
you're not good at shouting and grunting,
no, because we like us other side of training. We would have to taper that type of training off, wouldn't we? Too much to just go down that road. But that is a great event, and we're going to do it as another group.
Well, as many as we can get
as many gym members as we can. They're all going to do it, because you don't have to do it with a rucksack either.
Okay.
You can enter it as a 10-mile run. So when you sign up, you put that you don't. They call it tabbing, don't they?
Yeah.
You're either doing the tabbing race or you're doing the shorts and just the 10-mile run, or the what. You can walk. You can do whatever you want. You go around it, but it's a great day, really good. So we're going to use it as part of the social group thing, and another gym one, where we get as many people together as we can. So that again will be a really good goal for a lot of people to think, I wonder if I can run 10 mile.
So for your goal, then are you setting a time to complete it in?
Well, we did last time, didn't we? Because I think is the cut-off point for the para. I think when the paras, I mean, some of them machines, they do it in like an hour. I think
10 miles in an hour.
I think fastest one last year were an hour with that.
Sure, an hour 20. It was quick.
But I think the cut-off point is an hour 50. If you are going through the testing, to get into the paras, it's an hour 50. And so last year we said we wanted to do it, we wanted to beat that, and we did it in an hour. But it was an hour 42 or an hour 44, something like that, wasn't it? So last time we did it, it was about the time. That was his goal, to do it in below the cut-off point. I'm not as bothered this year, because I'm thinking if we're doing it as a big group and there's more gym members doing it, I will be happy to do it as part of the group and help people get around. Yeah. Still going to do it with my rucksack and all right. I don't want to walk it, but I'm not bothered about the focus on it. Probably want to do it a bit more comfortable than I did last year, because my feet were absolutely in bits. I ripped my big toenail off halfway around. I just felt a crunch while going down an hill. Do you remember telling you, like, I've just lost my big toenail? I knew it had come off. Just ripped straight off nail bed. That for the rest of the run. That was about halfway point. So I'd just like to think I'm going to do it more comfortable and all. But yeah, we'll just see. We'll see on day who's doing it. See how many's there. But that'll be really good. So I suppose that is a goal, isn't it? So that's one of our little things that we put in as diary to train for closer to time. Although it's not that far off actually. So we need to start training. We need to start upping his game. Yeah. So like I said, so going back, I'm just thinking of like listeners here. What can people take from this podcast? If they're listening to this, what can they take from it from a goal setting point of view? Do they just take generally that there's no one fit goal?
I think figure out what works for you, what you think can motivate you, and what won't. If you think a goal like yours and motivate them, and they stick to it, and they won't get beat up on it and make them quit if it don't go as plain sailing as that they like, then maybe I want to go in that. If that works for them, that works for them. If they think that it would put them off training, then because they're thinking I'm not getting anywhere near and they feel like it's a waste of time, then don't go for that and focus more on the process and just, I don't know, or maybe but then again, it's also about setting yourself like realistic goals as well, isn't it?
I think the realistic
it's all. I think just have a good think about what your goals are, what you want to achieve out of it. Is it just health? Is it just the process? Is it just training? I want to make sure I train twice a week, or I want to be able to do that, or I want to be able to do that. I think that's the
So you need to have a real good think about them, don't you?
I think
apply that as
understand yourself a bit more.
Yeah, definitely apply the 41 principle. But why? But why? Just ask yourself, but why? But why? But why?
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely more so in the kind of weight loss, body appearance space. What I want to lose weight, but why? Yeah. Why do you want to lose weight? Because people tell me to. Do you want to lose weight? Although, what do you want? What do you? And then kind of right underneath that, there's a few layers. I mean, you get down to the crux of it. I want to feel a sense of achievement or pride or self-esteem or whatever it happens to be. But some people just don't want to have that accountability. They just want to come to the gym and enjoy the process.
Yeah.
And if that's you, that's great. And if you're honest with yourself and say, well, I'll keep coming no matter what because I enjoy the process. Like for me, like I really sort of program when somebody said to me, I don't want to get stronger, I don't want to get faster, I don't want to do this, I just want to do some training. Like going, right, so what I'll do is I'll come and there's the gym and just crack on.
No, but it's like that because automatically, because you know what though, people like that, they still get a little sense because they still do get stronger.
Yeah.
And they still, you know what I mean? But they might not be working on, let's just say, a squat to get stronger on that squat. But let's say week 1, the goblet squatting and they're doing an 8 kilo dumbbell. By week 12, and all of a sudden they're doing, and without realizing they are achieving certain things and goals. And when they look back, they go, I'm quite impressed with that. I have got stronger, haven't I? Or, you know, like, but you haven't every week gone, right, remember, we've got to up this squat. We've got to up this squat. It's just a natural process. And that's when it's down to you then, or us, to just keep, just because they come and it's general, it doesn't mean say you give them two dumbbells, 8s every week, and you just stick to the same way it is. We always try.
It's really good for that, isn't it? They are.
Yeah.
To the end of every session, you log the workouts, and at the end of every session, it gives you total reps, total sets, and total weight. You can even look, so you know, like that's good for people to look back on. A couple of months down the line, you'll go. So, like 2 months ago, we did this session or a very similar session, or you're completing an average. You're lifting 5,000 kilograms by any session. Now you're doing 10, and they don't really feel like they're doing anything different. So that is good. People do love that, don't they? It is really good.
So without realising it, they end up you know what I mean? They end up getting stronger. It isn't so. You see, you need to just stop thinking so black and white, mate. You just.
It's because but we've talked about quite a lot. When you're starting from kind of zero, which generally most people are not from zero, but they're starting with little training. Not experience in the past, but you know, they're usually starting from scratch at some point, whether they've had a break out there and then they come and they start the gym and because they're wanting. So you get that initial kick, don't you, where you improve, you get stronger, you get fitter, you just feel loads better out of it. So it always goes up quite quick, doesn't it? Now, because we don't get many people here who are fully experienced gym, you know, like strength people, athletes or whatever. Most people are coming because they need to change. And they want to start exercising, apart from like Mick, who we were just on about earlier, runner, he came here for one actual precise goal, getting stronger to help his time of running a sub 31 10k, which is, he wants to not like 5 seconds or 6 seconds off.
Well, he said by a scooter.
I think that would be the easiest. Definitely achieve the goal then, wouldn't we? But so it's just, some people have to be that precise. Like that is a ridiculously precise goal, isn't it? This is the one thing that I see as being the key to me dropping that few seconds off my 10k, because it's tried everything else. Just running and extra running is not enough. He's running 100 mile a week anyway. So it's like, how do you, if you are finding that impossible to break, how do you do it? And you've got to do something new, haven't you? Yeah. So this is new for him. So it's fine. He's hoping getting stronger will help him do that. So some people's goals are absolutely on the button, aren't they? Precise.
Yeah.
You know, you get these clients who come in who don't necessarily have this kind of goal at the beginning and they just want to enjoy training. Do things emerge then? Do they start to say, I really kind of, I find this really interesting, or that, or I see somebody doing that and I'd like to do that. And their goal emerges rather than something they come around at the beginning.
That does happen a lot, actually. That does happen a lot. Even Joy Ram came over there and she watched a documentary, I think it was Jennifer Lopez, and she was doing chins, and she was going, I want to be able to do chins like her. So like, all right, so that was it. So we've been working on chins.
I've got a few on chins at the minute.
It's a good one, a lot, because it's a tough one.
And I think especially for women, it's not something that comes natural for a woman to go, I'm going to go and do pull-ups. Whereas, like, to go and work on them and just to come and do it. So I've got a few doing them at the minute. Pull-up seems to be a bit of a thing at the minute for especially women clients.
So there you go. So let us know if you've got any goals, what your goals are, and how they help you keep training. I think that.
Have they been negative in the past? Have they actually caused you to have more grief and hassle and stress that you didn't need, and your training got better when you got rid of them? Yeah,
because some people will beat themselves up. Well, we said that, didn't we? That it definitely can be a negative if you don't. I don't think I would be, but then maybe that's because we are not as precise in as goal setting. But we initially we joined you on the double back.
You did, that's my 3 weeks.
Initially, it didn't last long. It was like, we're just having to squat all the time here. we're missing out on loads of others of our training, so we sacked it out.
I was like going, but you have to squat all the time.
It did my head in. I was sick of
Every day
squatting.
we
You
were-
love squatting,
We were talking about squatting. We were thinking about all the time. We were training.
We even bought some shoes.
We've got some powerlifting shoes for sale, by the way, if anybody wants to buy them. We've only been wanting
Hardly
that
used.
because we don't need them. We're only using them for squats. We didn't need them for us.
It was a great 3 weeks. You saw your kids in the about 3 pairs of fits.
Yeah, did actually. Oh dear. So so that's goal setting then, isn't it?
Yeah.
So really, so how do you sum it up? It's just a huge topic, isn't it? You know, like you could go. It can just be so varied, can't it? An individual. So, but the main thing I would say is it's really individualised. That's
I think
my
it's like
take.
It's whatever motivates. It is for what motivates.
Yeah. There is no one or two or three or 5 or 10 goals that you can go off. These are the best goals to work on. Boom, boom, boom.
I think if you've got the right goal for you at the right time, they're really helpful. If you don't have one, trying to come up with something that you think is the right thing so like you get the message going, you need to lose weight, you need to be healthier. So if you're picking up a goal that somebody else is giving you, that's probably not going to work out so well. So just go train and let it emerge.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't emerge, that's fine, but as long as you enjoy the process.
Yeah. Definitely. Sounds good. I think that, yeah, definitely. So if you've got if you want to share your experiences with us or any goals going forward, or if you need help, if anybody needs help setting some goals, get in touch. We could help. We could help try and create some, couldn't we?
Yeah.
You were looking a bit concerned about that then.
No, I was actually just thinking. No, that's a good. We need to
We're definitely frowning at it then. So I think I shouldn't have said that.
No, you know what? No, that's good. We need it. A bit of feedback on it and how people are. It would be very good. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Awesome.
I'm happy.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
That were an happy frown.
Oh, right.
Yeah, good.
It just tries to look rock off.
Other than. No, we said that.
Bad frown, happy frown.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Bad.
Cool.
All right.
Cheers, boys.
Nice
one.
one.
Right, I hope that helps. See you all later. Bye.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you liked the episode, we'd like you to share with us that on YouTube, Instagram and Twitter. You can listen again on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Please leave us a rating and a review, and any comments would be more than appreciated. And hopefully you'll tune back next time for our next episode.
The Yorkshire Fitness Podcast.